Joining us now is Gayle Taub, who joins us weekly to talk about health, wellness, and nutrition. Gayle Taub is a fitness trainer, nutrition coach, and owner of Gazelle Health. Gayle, thanks so much for joining us again this morning.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday, Maddie.
Yes, and happy International Women's Day to you, Gayle.
To you as well.
So, Gayle, let's talk a little bit about reaching your goals and how personal trainers and coaches can help one do that. Can you tell us some tips for finding someone to help you reach your goals, whether that's with nutrition or fitness?
Yes. So this is a tricky topic because everybody's very individual. Everyone has their own goals and needs, their own experiences, and there's a lot of different options out there. Some are really right and some may not be right for you. So I have 4 steps basically that I might have you try as you're trying to figure out where to find the professional that help you the best. Step number 1 is really look to yourself first. Find a quiet space. Think about what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you want for yourself. And you might want to think about it in 3 different parts. Because health and wellness, at the end of the day, regardless of how you want to look or how you want to feel or what you want for yourself, health and wellness is at the top. I want to be here for my children. I want to outlive my parents and do a better job at taking care of myself. And to do that, there are 3 different things that are necessary. And end of story, just necessary in order to do that for ourselves. The first is eating right. Having a healthy, well-balanced diet. The second one is exercising, the routine that you, or moving in a way that makes sense for you. And the third is about habits. So when you sit down, before you start looking for anyone, take a few minutes and quiet time for yourself and figure out which one of those areas would you like to improve, and are you ready and willing to improve right now? They're all necessary, but to attack them all at the same time can be overwhelming. And finding a professional who can help you with all of those things, that's actually very, very tricky. So finding one thing, whether it be the eating, the exercising, or your habits, is a good place to start. From there, you might want to focus on that one area. Let's use nutrition as an example, and ask yourself, and kind of think about, what have you already tried? What have you done? What successes have you had? And what do you consider a success? And what failures have you had? And the reason that that's an important step in this process is simply so you don't continue to repeat the same mistakes that you've made in the past. Having tried something and having it work means different things to different people. So just because you lost a pound by following a diet doesn't automatically mean that it worked for you. I'm assuming a lot of times you want that to last over the course of time. So think about what you've tried, think about what has worked, where it has not worked. And when you start to seek a professional, look for a new approach. Don't repeat the same thing again. And I'm not trying to be specific here. Think outside the box, guys. Think about, when I say, did it work? I'm talking about, was the restrictive approach you took to losing a pound, did that work? Not eating more protein and less sugar, right? That's very specific. That's always going to work, right? That's how it works. That's science. But the approach that you took, the person or the people that you worked with, the way in which you went about losing that weight or getting healthy or whatever it is that you're trying to do, how did that work? The third thing that you need to do is remember a couple of things when you're looking for a professional. Number 1, if there were magic, guys, if there was a silver bullet, we'd all be in a much different situation and we wouldn't be as challenged as we are to keep ourselves healthy. Silver bullets and magic do not exist. It usually is not one thing that causes you trouble, success or failure. It's multiple things. The other thing that you might want to think about is the people that are making you promises. I will never promise you anything other than if you show up and you do the work and together we approach how to get you healthy, that you will feel better and you will succeed at your goals. But I'm not going to promise you that you're going to lose a certain amount of pounds in with a certain way of eating, because I don't know you. Okay, so watch out for those promises, those big, bold promises. And lastly, in this particular area, watch out for the conversation that you're having with that professional. Make sure that conversation is largely about you, that the professional is asking you a lot of questions, and you have the opportunity to share what's important, what has worked, what you want, what you've tried, all of those things. If I come into it and the conversation is largely about how I do things and how I lost my weight, or how I have a program or an approach that will work for you, there's something a little bit wrong with that. So the balance should be mostly about you, having you answer your questions, having you ask questions, and then about the approach of the professional. Lastly, so you've picked something, you've figured out what is new or different or what has worked for you in the past, you're watching out for certain things. Now comes the time when you're going to look for resources. The idea here is to pick 3 and explore 3 different options. Use your friends, your doctors, your professionals, people you trust for referrals, not because it worked for them, by the way, but because you're gonna have a conversation about you and they trust that person. Now you need to learn if you can trust that person. So find that person that that you trust, get some referrals. There's also websites out there that are not about programs, but they're about the professionals themselves. HealMe.com is one of them. You can go on there, and in your local area, you can find different kinds of health and wellness professionals. Check credentials. And at the end of having 3 conversations with 3 different kinds of professionals that are geared towards what you are trying to change, pick the best one and try. That's all.
Well, Gayle, we appreciate you joining us today. Would you just like to tell people if they can reach out to you, how they can do so?
Absolutely. So I have a website. You can message me through that. It is CoachGayle.com. Gayle is spelled Gayle. So it's CoachGayle.com. You can also call me or text at 248-885-1400. And you can also find Gazelle Health with 2 H's at the end on Instagram.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us again, Gayle. We appreciate it.
You bet. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thanks.